Hey, I'm in pants. I just got done watching part 8. I'm also a little tired. Red Bull seems to have stopped having effect. And this is a really bad time for that to happen. Part 8, Part 9, and Part 10, and even the remake, makes me just wish for Part 7 again. This is just definitely right around the point that the series started to fall apart. In fact, it fell apart so hard that they actually ended up selling the franchise rights over to New Line Cinemas after this one was made. And you can tell. Oh, you can tell. There is like no budget for this movie. I swear it just went all to Jason's costume, I should say. And that's it. I don't even know what the hell they were thinking. I'm just gonna go through my list because I can't even form any cohesive sentences anymore. So, first big thing is the composer isn't there anymore. 1 through 7 had the exact same composer. That was like the one thing that stayed constant. There was different producers, directors, writers, but there was always the same composer. And you can tell, oh man, this movie's painfully bad. It's got a good catchy tune, but it just reuses a lot of the same themes. There's nothing new, nothing interesting. Like Part 6 and Part 7 at least spiced things up and made them refreshed. Just felt like a big kick in the pants. This one just recycles. Funny thing enough, though, this is actually the backup composer that was on Part 7, so he must be some kind of apprentice or something like that, and he just never learned. Surprisingly enough, this is the first movie out of all of them that doesn't actually have a recap of the previous movie. Again, I don't really necessarily mind that so much. It just might have helped a little bit to even refresh the movie makers what the hell was going on. There seems to be a very loose continuity between all of these films. For example, Jason in this movie, he's buried in the water by the Camp Crystal Lake sign. I thought it was just the dock, and he wasn't even really covered in a dock in the last movie. He was pulled under the water by Tina's dad. Anyways, maybe it floated on top of him in between the movies. Who knows? We don't even know how much time has passed between this one and that one. And my favorite thing about this whole entire movie is it's called Jason Takes Manhattan. It should really be called Jason Takes Manhattan Eventually. We'll get there. Don't worry, it's coming. We promise. He'll take it eventually. It's coming, I swear. And they have this really great build-up in the opening sequence where he show amazing shots of New York, and it's like this 80s music, and it feels kind of like Ghostbusters 80s sort of comedy or action film. It just has that New York vibe, and I liked it. I swear to God, I half expected the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to be in the background in one scene. It just has that feeling to it. It's fun. And then we spend 3/4 of the movie on a fucking boat. Not even a very interesting looking boat. It doesn't even look like it was meant to be a cruise liner of any variety. It just looks like they had like 1 or 2 rooms that they filmed in, and the rest of it was just this industrial boat that just constantly stayed at dock while they filmed there. And then the bad acting is back. Really bad. Like Remy, our main character, that's basically what she does all movie. I don't know. Just nothing seems to add up in this movie. Oh, and the plot? Again, 6 and 7. Not great plots, but you had a protagonist, you had something going for your film, particularly in 6. This movie, Jason kills a bunch of people on a boat who are going to Manhattan. And Jason comes along. Why? It sounds like somebody brought their kid into work and be like, Daddy, it'd be great if Jason could go to the big city where the Ninja Turtles are. That would be awesome. And maybe he can fight the Ninja Turtle. And I love some of the like blatant like rip-offs too. Like, I swear to God, that's Ralph Jr. The guy who's the caretaker on the boat talks like Ralph, looks like Ralph, even dresses like Ralph. It's fucking Ralph Jr. That's what he'll be forever named as, from my perspective. And I don't know what they were doing in terms of editing, but it seems like quite a bit of time passes from the first kid gets beaten in with a guitar to sort of when everything sort of hits the fan. Wouldn't they be missing some of these people, or at least walking around looking for some of these people? It just seems like nobody gives a shit. And I mean, maybe I'm not so surprised. There only seems to be 2 adults on this entire boat for that many teenagers, so yeah, it's possible. Hell, you get a scene where people are doing cocaine and they're off having sex. It's likely that missing kids is actually not that bad. And apparently, one of my favorite things is that Jason has started working for Aperture Science, because he's definitely thinking with portals in this one. I don't even know how they even thought to explain this. I could just picture the direction for Kane Hodder going, okay, so you're going to be right here in front of the camera, and then all of a sudden somebody's going to turn and run that direction, and all of a sudden you'll be above them on this platform. Don't ask how. Trust us. It's going to be cool. It's not even like it's done once or twice and like maybe it's a continuity error. I swear to God, my favorite time is that he's chasing somebody down the street. We turn to see Jason chasing this guy down the street. 2 seconds later, he runs into the building, and then all of a sudden Jason's on the top floor throwing the guy out the window. Like, teleportation. He's fucking Nightcrawler or something. Like, it doesn't make any sense. There's been nothing that, like, crazy. And hell, the telekinesis person was less crazy than Jason teleporting halfway across the frickin' city. What else have I got on this page? Oh my God. Nobody even really acknowledges how many kids die on the boat when it sinks. Seriously, go watch the first couple of scenes. You can count dozens of them up top there. And Jason doesn't even actually kill a lot of people in this movie. They all just kind of let them drown with the boat. What? Thank God the parents don't live through this one, and the teachers or whatever they're called, because god damn they'd be sued. However, there are, well, I guess I can say 1, maybe 2 scenes that sort of elevate this movie to just pure awesome. And I think you'll know what I'm talking about. It's Jason walking down the streets of Manhattan, walking towards a couple of punks who are playing really terrible music. He kicks the stereo full on boot, and they just freak right the hell out, and he just lifts his mask up. Doesn't show us his face yet. Just shows them his face from behind, and it's fantastic. I love the reaction. Perfect moment. If they could have just had more of that, this movie would have been amazing. It would have been so bad it's fun. Same thing goes for when he's continuing to chase them along and they go into a little diner. And all of a sudden, rather than opening the door, Jason literally creates a door about 5 times the size of himself just by bursting through the wall. I really wanted him to go, oh yeah! Because he kind of looks like the Kool-Aid Man in this one. He's a little damp, so yeah. Anyways, if you can't tell, I'm a little loopy. It's really hard to stay awake with these bad movies. Now, if you don't mind, I actually have to go watch part 9 and then part 10. I'm at least happy I'm watching part 10 because I know it's so bad it's good and there's at least some entertaining moments in that. But man, part 9 will be really tough. You could very well just have the camera pointed at me and I'm asleep on the table. Until next time, guys. I'm the crazy person watching these movies.